Hey, what's going on, guys? Flock. We're gonna get right to it. We in John chapter 20, verse 27. See, it's the reason why I'm gonna do John chapter 20, verse 27, because a lot of y'all think that you need proof that Jesus died on the cross and rose again. A lot of y'all believe that you need to receive a miracle to trust God. A lot of y'all think just because God didn't answer your prayer a month ago or in that second that you made that prayer, God didn't hear you. See, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to tell you why you don't need proof and where the proof is at. So John chapter 20, verse 27, God's flock. Then saith he to Thomas, reach hither thy finger and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless. So this is Thomas, one of Jesus' disciples, right? Thomas was pretty much in disbelief. He was like, man, unless I touch him myself, I ain't believing. So Jesus appeared, showed up. I'm going to do it again. John chapter 20, verse 27. Jesus appeared and showed up and said, all right, put your finger through these. You see me get crucified, put your fingers through here. Touch me. Then saith he to Thomas, reach hither thy finger and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless. Listen here, God's flock. You know what proof that you need? The resurrection. Come on. Y'all need signs and wonders. We read scriptures. Listen. He said, y'all gonna see the signs of the prophet Jonah. Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days, 3 nights. Ring a bell. The resurrection is all the proof that you need. And side note, God don't need to prove nothing to y'all, God's flock. He don't need to prove nothing to y'all. He created you. He made you. The air that you breathe, the health that you still got, that money that you got, that car you got. Prove what? Prove what? I'm going to tell you a quick story. I used to work at this one job. I was in this warehouse, right? And I met this atheist. First time in my life meeting an atheist in my life. He was a younger guy, an Indian fella too. But he was a pure genius though. Pure genius. And we was having a conversation. We was on the dock and I was like, boss man, why don't you believe in God? I'm just asking. That's what I said. I was like, I'm just asking, you know what I mean? Just curious. He was like, man, because, why would God let me grow up like that? So he grew up in another country where pretty much he just grew up in like a tent for real. No roads, no nothing, just a dirt. It was just nothing but dirt. He grew up in the mud. Most people in poverty grow up in the mud. Those are the people that God normally use. So check this out. This is a funny story. So, buddy boy, like, that's what he tell me. And I was like, I said, that's it? I said, look where you at now. Listen, mind you, he graduated early. He graduated when he was like 16, right? To the point where his parents had to sign for him to come work because he was done with high school, right? So he said he was going to go to school to be a lawyer because he wanted to help people. Ain't that something? I mean, buddy boy can understand anything that he read just like that. Highly intelligent fella. So I said to him, I said, man, God's just using that. That was just your humble beginnings. But you ain't on that dirt road. You ain't on that dirt road no more. You ain't in that tent no more. So I think Buddy Boy was moving to Texas. Dallas, I believe. He was going to Dallas. And funny story. So I used to talk to him from time to time and everything like that. And I'd be like, so you still atheist? He was still, he was still going with it. So one day, out of the blue, Buddy Boy came to me and said, yo, Tim, man, I believe. I said, I busted out laughing. I was like, I said, what happened? You know what happened to him? He was on his deathbed. Yeah, he done got struck by the COVID. He was real sick. But it was something, it wasn't even like, I thought it was COVID, right? I think, I just said he got struck by the COVID, right? But Buddy Boy was like, yo, something just came upon me and I was real sick. He called on God. He was healed. He was healed from whatever was going on. He said, Tim, I believe. I believe in God now. After that, I ain't seen him no more. From that moment in time, I ain't seen him no more. God take that. I always tell people, God take his hands up, but let God remove their heads a little bit. Read the story of Job. Let God remove their heads from you guys, Flop. You gonna know he gonna get you one way. Listen, when God wants you, he wants you. So that just goes to say, man, like, you need proof. You need proof that Jesus rose from that grave. You need proof that God rose you from that grave. Huh? I'm telling y'all, the resurrection is all the proof you need. Don't let God take his hands up on you. You learn the hard way, God's flock. It's funny that people will always be needing all this clarification, but you get it all the time. It's kind of like that, if you got a parent and, like, you got kids that always ask for something, and they don't ask for nothing else. They don't ask how you doing, how you been, what you up to. Yo, you give me these Jordan this week? Blah, 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 blah. It's because God ain't giving you everything that you ask on a daily basis. Don't mean that God don't love you or he didn't hear you. It's not how it works, God's flock. So again, check out John, man. Chapter 20, verse 27. Read it yourself. Read the whole chapter of John when you get a moment, God's flock. Listen, I love y'all. And we speak soon.